Before the rise of Umar ibn Khattab, before he ruled an empire stretching across 3 continents, he was just a name in the sand of ancient Mecca. But that name would soon shape history in the ways the world never expected. Just 2 years after becoming the first Khalifa, Hazrat Abu Bakr Anha passed away. But before leaving this world, he made one thing absolutely clear to the Muslim Ummah, who their next leader would be, Umar ibn Khattab, a name that would echo across the sands of Arabia and far beyond. Today, Islam is the fastest growing religion in the world, followed by nearly 2 billion people. There is not a single moment on earth when the call to prayer, the azan, is not being heard in some corner of the globe. And in shaping this global legacy of Islam, Hazrat Umar played a revolutionary role. In just a few years under Umar's rule, the Islamic empire exploded in size. It reached further than even the empires of Alexander the Great or pharaohs of Egypt. He didn't inherit an empire, he built it, brick by brick, battle by battle, reform by reform. But to understand the man, we must understand the world he was born into, the city of Mecca. Mecca wasn't just a city, it was a tribal battlefield of influence. One tribe ruled over it for centuries, the Quraysh. Over time, the Quraysh became so large that it splintered into clans, each competing for power, wealth, and honor. But to avoid war among themselves, they gave each clan its own responsibility. 3 clans stood at the top of this power pyramids. First, Banu Hashim, the clan of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. They were the spiritual guardians of the Kaaba, the holiest sites in Arabia. They held religious authority not through wealth but through service to the pilgrims. Second, Banu Umayyah, the banker of the desert. They didn't care much for religion. Their power came from gold, trade caravan, and an influence in Makkah booming economy. And then came Banu Adi, the clan of Umar. They weren't the richest nor the most spiritually revered, but they were respected, known for their diplomacy and judgment. They often settled dispute between clans. They were peacemakers, the wise negotiator, and Umar would one day prove to be the most powerful among them. But before we explore his reign as Khalifa, before we witness the law he passed, the empire he shook, and the justice he became known for, we must understand the man behind the title, who was Umar ibn Khattab, what kind of fire burned within him before Islam, and what force was powerful enough to transform one of Islam's fiercest enemies into one of its greatest champions. Umar ibn Khattab didn't begin his journey as a Muslim hero. In fact, he was once amongst the fiercest enemies of Islam. Born into the noble tribe of Banu Adi from the Quraysh, Umar was respected for his intelligence, strength, eloquence, and unshakable tribe loyalty. As a young man, he was skilled orator and expert in Arab genealogy, even serving as an ambassador for Quraysh in tribal affairs. He was the official ambassador and spokesperson of the Quraysh. Whenever there was a tribal conflict or whenever the Quraysh needed someone to represent their strength and pride, it was Umar who stood at the front. His powerful voice echoed in gathering. His sharp mind shaped public opinion, and his loyalty to the old tradition made him one of Islam's fiercest enemies. And that's why when he heard that Prophet Muhammad calling people towards one God and challenging the very structure of Quraysh society, he took it as a personal threat. Umar saw it not as a religion but as a rebellion. He believed Muhammad was tearing apart the fabric of society, dividing families and insulting the gods of their ancestors. Fueled by rage, sword in hand, Umar set out to kill the Prophet Muhammad. But Allah had written a different fate. Along the way, a man intercepted him and whispered a truth that shocked him. Your own sister and her husband have accepted Islam. Fuming, Umar stormed to their home. From outside, he heard the recitation of the Quran, the powerful word of Surah Taha. He burst in and struck his sister in fury, only to see her bloodied face respond not with fear but faith. We are Muslims, she said. Do whatever you wish. We will not leave this path. Her courage shattered, his pride humbled. Umar asked to read the verses. After purifying himself, he held the scroll and read, Indeed, I am Allah. There is no deity except me. So worship me and establish prayer for my remembrance. The words pierced his heart like a divine lightning bolt. This fire of ignorance extinguished, replaced by the light of faith. The man who had set out to murder the Prophet now raced to find him, not with a weapon, but with a trembling heart. At Darul Arqam, the Muslim feared his approach. But the Prophet ﷺ opened the door. Umar entered and declared, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Muhammadur Rasulullah. That very moment changed history. Islam had gained not just a follower but a fortress. From then on, Muslims prayed publicly. Umar and Hamza led the believers to the Kaaba with heads held high. No longer did the Ummah live in shadows with Umar. They walk in strength. Before Umar ibn Khattab accepted Islam, the believers lived in fear and silence. Islam was quietly spreading, but Muslims prayed in secrets. But the moment Umar bin Khattab accepted Islam, the winds of Mecca shifted. No longer was he the enemy of the Prophet. He was now his sword, his shield, his lion. But Umar didn't hide in the shadows. Now his faith was not a secret. It was a declaration of war against every enemy of truth. Umar marched straight to the doorstep of the Quraysh chieftain. He went to Abu Jahl, the pharaoh of this Ummah, and knocked with force. Abu Jahl, still unaware of the thunder that approached, opened the door. Umar looked him in the eye and said with fire in his voice, I have accepted the religion of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Do whatever you can. Hazrat Umar participated in battles with Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Battle of Badr, Uhud, Khandaq, Khaybar, Hunain, Tabuk. In all battle he was present with Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Years passed. The Prophet ﷺ returned to his Lord, and Abu Bakr ﷺ was chosen as the first Caliph. In those difficult days, Umar stood beside him, not just as a friend, but at his right hand. His advice, leadership, and resolve helped hold the fragile Ummah together. When Abu Bakr's final days arrived, he saw the need for strong, principled leadership after him. Though many companions feared Umar's strictness, Abu Bakr saw beyond it. He said, his harshness was because of I was gentle, but when he becomes a leader, he will become kinder. And if Allah asks me who I choose as Khalifa, I will say I choose the best of your people. Abu Bakr did not leave the decision to the public or a shura because he feared disunity during such a sensitive time. Instead, he nominated Umar bin Khattab himself after thorough consultation. He even had Usman bin Affan write a formal letter declaring the nomination. Then Abu Bakr asked the public to come and listen to his choice. He announced publicly in the mosque that he had chosen Umar as his successor. The people, including the key companion, gave their pledge of alliance to Umar. After Abu Bakr passed away, Umar bin Khattab officially became the second Khalifa of the Muslims. Despite the pledge of loyalty from the majority, Umar was more feared than loved. His first challenge to win the trust of the people and the respect of the influential tribes, especially the Prophet's own clan, Banu Hashim. Umar was no ordinary speaker, a powerful orator. He used his voice to unify the people and calm the storm of doubts. To honor the Banu Hashim, he returned disputed lands in Khaybar to Ali's family. He upheld Abu Bakr's ruling on Fadak, keeping it as a public property, but ensured justice and fairness. His reputation grew. After the Rida War, thousands of prisoners from rebellious tribes had been enslaved. Umar issued a general amnesty, ordering their immediate release, a bold and popular move that won him support among the tribes. Hazrat Umar then made one shocking decision. Despite Khalid bin Walid's military genius and battlefield victories, Umar removed him from supreme command. Why? Because leadership in Islam wasn't about fame, it was about balance, humility, and obedience to Allah. Though Khalid bin Walid was undefeated in battle and celebrated for his brilliance in military strategy, Caliph Umar removed him from his position as commander during the Syrian campaign. The reason was not personal. Umar deeply respected Khalid's abilities. However, he feared that the Muslim masses had started attributing victory to Khalid instead of Allah. Umar believed that such reliance on a single individual could distort the Islamic principle that victory comes only from Allah. To preserve this core belief and avoid the development of hero worship in the growing Muslim community, Umar quietly replaced Khalid with Abu Ubaidah ibn Jarrah. Without publicly humiliating Khalid, Remarkably, Khalid accepted the decision with humility and continued to serve under Abu Ubaidah without protest, providing his true dedication to Islam and not personal glory. Under Umar, the Caliphate wasn't just expanding, it was organizing. He established a unitary state, dividing the empire into provinces like Medina, Mecca, Basra, Kufa, Syria, Egypt, and Khorasan. Hazrat Umar ibn Khattab showed great wisdom and planning in managing the fast-growing Islamic empire. He knew that winning battle was not enough. An empire also needs strong system, fairness, and discipline to survive. So he divided the empire into provinces and appointed governors called walis, who were chosen not because of their tribe, but because they were honest, capable, and poised. Umar gave each governor clear written instruction and personally explained their duties. To stop corruption, he fixed their salaries, stopped them from doing business, and kept a close check on their work. People were allowed to complain about any governor without any fear, and Umar would secretly check if the complaints were true. His smart leadership created a balanced, strong control from the center, but also freedom for local leaders to act justly. Because of this careful planning and honest administrators, the message of Islam and justice spread to the furthest area. His way of ruling is still remembered today as one of the best examples of Islamic leadership. Hazrat Umar quietly established a secret intelligence network across the provinces of the Islamic Empire. This network consisted of trusted individuals who reported directly to him about the behavior of governors, judges, military commanders, and even public sentiments. These agents operated discreetly and ensured that Umar was informed of any corruption, injustice, or misuse of power, often before the matter became public. This intelligence system was not for political control, but for accountability and transparency. If any official, no matter how powerful, deviated from justice or Islamic ethics, Umar acted swiftly. Though he ensured that the Islamic State remained true to its moral foundation. It was this intelligence that helped him run an empire that stretched from Egypt to Persia with fairness, discipline, and fear of Allah. One of Hazrat Umar's most important achievement was building a proper justice system for the Islamic State. He knew that justice is the backbone of any strong and fair society, so he set up independent courts and appointed honest and knowledgeable judges, known as qadis, in different provinces. These judges were not allowed to do any other job, so they could focus only on justice and avoid any conflict of interest. Hazrat Umar made sure that the judges were experts in the Islamic law, truthful and brave enough to give fair decision, even if it was against powerful people. He personally trained and guided them to make sure all judgments were consistent. Judges were also not allowed to accept gift or socialize with rich or influential people, so they could remain fair and neutral. One of the greatest qadis during Umar's time was Hazrat Ali radhiyallahu anhu, known for his deep knowledge and fairness. Umar also introduced a system to record legal cases and decisions so future judges could refer to them. He believed that the law should be equal for everyone, rich or poor, Muslim or non-Muslim. Even the Khalifa himself could be taken to the court, and Umar accepted that without hesitation. His efforts created a strong justice system that influenced Islamic rule for centuries. Today, Umar is still remembered as a symbol of fairness and justice. Hazrat Umar's justice system wasn't just about rules. It was about building a society where everyone was treated fairly, no matter their status. His legacy of honesty, fairness, and fearless leadership still inspires people today. In the next vlog, we will take you straight to the battlefield, the first major war during the Caliphate of Hazrat Umar, where strategy, faith, and courage shaped the future of the Islamic Empire. If you found this video informative, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Thank you.